Thank you so much for coming again, I know for the third time. The panel is called Minds and Machines, the intersections of AI and creativity. So basically we're going to talk about, I hope at least, that we're not going to kill each other here, about creative intersection of AI and what we do. I was thinking about how to start that. And I feel like I like to start dramatically. So I'm going to start with what J. Robert Oppenheimer said. He said, "Now I am become of death, the destroyer of worlds." And he said that when the first ever nuclear explosion on testing site went off, right? Why I'm saying that? Because Elon Musk said AI potentially is going to be more dangerous than nukes. He said that. The grandfather of AI said that he quits Google because he's afraid of his own creation. So this is where we're at. This is the scary part. However, maybe we're just overreacting here because, for example, when we had factories before and someone figured out an assembly line, things got faster, cheaper, more efficient. Where we got internet, information flow got much better. Things got cheaper and things changed. So I just use this example, let's say, just for one sector of where we can talk about AI. But I feel like it's just a very scary topic, but also very interesting topic. And we will try to digest it a bit more. My name is Kacper. I'm a lead environment artist. I will be trying to moderate this talk. However, our guests here, they will be talking about that. I'm super excited and curious to see and hear what they're about to say. With Andrew, if you'll be here on a previous talk, he actually did a great talk about AI. And Andrew is, his background is being an artist. However, right now he is into creating tools based on AI to support creative processes, which is very exciting. We have Marcin. Marcin is an artist that worked in games industry, movies industry, TV industry, very well established, yeah. And Artur is a lead game artist. So that's a nice trio, okay? And I think it's going to be exciting. I would just, sorry, because I have my notes here. I will do my best. And First of all, I would just like to start off with one simple question, and to everyone, each of you, so we can, first of all, kick this one off. So basically, how you feel like the technology, meaning AI, for example, in this case, will actually impact our creative processes? And if you don't mind, I'm actually going to sit down here.
Hey, everyone. Great question, Kacper. If only somebody did a talk about that. But no, in all honesty, though, I feel like fundamentally what we're headed for is actually quite straightforward. Not just with AI, but in life is we'll be able to ask for things and get them, which I think is kind of the short of it, meaning I want to see this in front of me. You're going to see it. I want an app that does this. I want, a visual or a video of that. And on a long enough time frame, it's inevitable that this is just going to be available to everyone. And so what that means is we're actually going to start asking questions of why does this need to exist? Because anything will be able to exist. And I feel like that is the fundamental change for the creative process for us, is we're going to have to transition into the mode of thinking of, I'm just trying to make a thing that I saw somebody else make online, to like, how does this enrich other people's life experience? Which I think is awesome. There's going to be a lot of things that don't do that, and that's okay because they're just not going to get attention and they're going to not be seen and forgotten. And that's part of the creative process. Some things rise to the top and some don't. That's mine.
Whoa, yeah, that's actually like I think all of us, will, I don't know, we shall see, have similar thoughts. And we all, I think, wanted to have this kind of future. I was a fan of. I think all of you guys are like a bit nerds, so Star Trek, like Next Generation, and in the series with the Picard, and it's more about the computer that they had in there, that they were able to like do some tests, some generally they were asking questions, and this artificial intelligence was making answers, was making this holodecks, designing for them. Even Data, who was actually an android, right, was asking questions to the same stuff. Yeah, I am amazed how fast and how far we can push this to actually become like not only like humans anymore. I don't know, because I think it will be like next step of evolution. Yeah, so I feel it will affect like all aspects, I think, of industries and all our personal aspects of our life as well. Yeah.
Okay, so hello everyone. I put some pop culture parallel because I probably would sound like high evolutionary from Guardians of Galaxy 3, but meaning of life is optimization. Yeah. So if you could do something faster, better, you would like to choose this path, choose this way, and AI is this path to optimization thing, to make things faster, to suit us as tool, not as high intelligent sci-fi stuff which erase us from the earth.
So I'm hearing here, no one's afraid of it. Which is interesting, right? I think what you, Andrew, said is very important, and I think that's actually very interesting to see that the fear is among younger artists. When it comes to more, experienced people, it's not that much. Maybe that's part of it. But yeah, you were about to say something.
Oh, I was just about to say that I think we should be afraid as a species, but probably less so as artists. If that makes sense. Where I think the creative process is going to be great, but I think the interesting thing about art and storytelling is that we forget that everything is a story. Our cultures are a story, our financial systems are a story, our history is a story, and so we're all literally just swimming in a soup of stories that other people made that define us, like what it means to be Polish or American is basically a whole bunch of stories that we have internalized. And if we have tools to produce those stories, at an incredible rate, incredibly convincingly hand-tailored to us, yet somehow, purposefully trying to misinform us, then we're just going to have the same problems that we're having right now in the U.S., right, with disinformation and politics that are very fucked up. So I'd say be worried about that stuff, demand regulation as much as possible, call your representatives if you can, but when it comes to art, I feel like we're just going to have a good time there.
You said about regulations. We know that right now, the smarter people than us probably, that know more than we do ever, and also will never know, they really vote to stop progressing of AI for 6 months, right? We don't know what's going to happen actually in the basements of those companies. We never know that. However, officially it says like we're going to pause it because we're afraid it might go too fast. That's the official statement. So I actually have 2 questions to that. First of all, you said regulations. I'm also very curious how, what can bring us those kind of regulations if you're going to put down those. And on top of that, because with this, and I think the fear also grows, is how fast those tools are evolving. So yeah, you want to take it, or Artur?
Okay, so I could say something, because yeah, about regulations. Stealing is not okay. So yeah, we need some regulations and to protect artists, creators from abuse their art, whatever they do. So yeah, we need it, but I don't have clue how we could make it. I imagine something like stock for AI, and if you would like to be part of this stock, you could check, okay, I will feed up this AI and maybe I earn some money from it, like Spotify, something like this. But yeah, I'm not very, very low guy. Okay, I don't have tools and knowledge to put some rights on AI stuff.
Okay. Well, honestly, about the regulation, I think they are needed for sure. We need them to protect the artists, to make like some stuff like Adobe Firefly is trying to do, so to do the kind of legal AI that we'll be able to use. Yeah, at some point, also I am not sure why they stopped, like this evolution of the. I understand that it's evolving pretty fast, but honestly, I feel when Elon Musk was was saying about artificial intelligence and it will like kill the world, I think he was having something that we are having right now. So like ChatGPT-4 was available for him like many years from that moment, I feel. And I don't know, like I feel we know a bit from what is happening right now in casual, like normal kind of area, like all of us can use Midjourney or ChatGPT, but I assume there are way, way more powerful AIs and tools that we are not aware of. And I feel we should be afraid of those guys because they will be deciding about the votes or like helping politicians and those like machines that will be secretly doing like calculations and helping not officially. I think they can be problematic. Like I think the worst scenarios when we'll I feel like I will stop here.
Thank you. I think for me, there's two parts. One is what does regulation look like and how do we make it sort of compelling and inclusive? And the stuff that we're talking about and thinking about at Promethean a lot, that is more longer term, but I think that we're really excited about is treating AI in general as quote unquote foundational models, right? Like if you imagine Amazon, right? They have other people that sell their stuff on their platform. So if you imagine foundational models of AI where any artist can bring their concept art, train it on top and say, okay, this is my little version of this AI that actually does stuff in my style, and then you can choose to use it and get paid a couple of cents. That is really cool, but even more interesting, right? Like something that sort of the way Promethean functions, and obviously we're gonna have to wait a decade to see it fully play out, but as you are training it, as you're giving it examples of like, hey, learn my personal style, you as an artist get to keep it as you go from job to job. So you're training your own virtual AI assistant that is gonna be with you throughout your career, having internalized your specific creative choices and support you throughout your job. And then 10 years from now, when you're like, okay, I've trained it enough, hopefully you'll be able to just rent it to other people and retire. And just be like, I've made enough creative decisions, go work for me, make me money, I'm just gonna go chill. Like that to us is an inclusive, exciting proposition that actually empowers artists economically and has that payoff for all of the creative decisions made. And so I think that's an exciting future. The thing about the stopping of the AI progress that's interesting and tricky is that I don't think it's the doom and gloom sort of general artificial intelligence that just goes Skynet on our asses. But it's actually the opposite. If you imagine there's whatever it is, I don't know, 11 people in America employed in driving cars or something like that. If you fully automate driving cars tomorrow or in 6 months, all of a sudden you have 11 million people that are unemployed. That many people unemployed at once is very scary because that basically means pitchforks and torches and not nice things happening. And that's democracy. People have every legal right to deny the rest of us progress if it inconveniences them. That's how democracy works. And so we need to figure out, not the Skynet thing, but like what are we going to do with the jobs that do go away? And that's where I feel like the fear is.
I was about to say that I feel like the fear is there. And I think it's not never going to go away because whenever there's something new, we always going to fear about that. However, I think you also hit the nail here in the head because even during your talk, you said like you're creating tools to support, make things faster. You were talking about outsource vendors, right? Still, from my takeaway from that was that sure, but there is a big chance someone's going to go unemployed, right? And this is the thing I feel like we should be able to think about. So if there's anything, like if there are any tips or ideas on how we can potentially migrate people from one position to another, are there any? And if so, what those could be?
I feel that basically will be like the managing roles over the AI or over a couple of tools that will be able to work with them and be like a triple more to work like a 3 or 4 times more with those AIs. And I feel wait a minute, I lost my thought. Wait a minute, yeah, then definitely I lost my thought.
No, all good. Okay, actually, what was the question again?
Again, like, first of all, thinking about
We both lost it.
I had my answer, but I forgot the question.
Me too, actually. But, yeah.
help them to still be in the industry.
Yeah, so I'll finish and like let you go, okay? So like basically, I feel we'll be like working with a couple of more tools, basically to deliver more activities, and in place of being artist who is basically trying to make one picture to accomplish something for a client in a couple of days, we'll be like doing way more of those activities with way more clients. And basically some of them will be actually probably need like only a bit touch of human hands, but from the others probably will be able to, like you are saying, just produce them only with the AI. And I feel it will switch a bit our roles from like being artist to being kind of like an art director or AI director, basically a director over yourself and over your skill set, and with that we can like triple our productivity, in my opinion, so be more successful. Because I don't know, like I was always. I always felt like I don't have too much art to post. You know, I always felt I can post or do more, but there were always limits, right? And right now, I feel we can break those limits. Yeah, go for it.
No, thank you. I mean, I generally agree, right? That was the kind of the subject of the previous presentation, is like everyone's going to be a director, which is exciting in a sense that we're going to have to figure out where's value in what we do and why do people actually have to care. And so I feel like that is the main suggestion, right? Is like try to break down why people actually care about what you do. Like not just the person that gives you a job, but the person that buys the result of your work. And I feel like if you just focus on that, you'll be fine. But also it requires that mind shift of like, oh, I'm not a 3D sculptor, right? I produce value for other humans, and this is how this value is measured. The sculpting, the modeling, the painting is just a way of getting there. And so, yeah, just focus on that, and I feel like you're always going to be safe.
I agree, because if you are a specialist, you should not be afraid, because your skill set will be needed, but if you do repeatedly job, I mean, you know, again the same thing over and over, and it's quite boring for me. And for example, I could paint 3 rocks and, hey, ChatGPT, give me 100 rocks in this style, and he will give it. I will do my job faster, but firstly, I had to put this 3 rock into ChatGPT. So if you have some skills, you are safe.
Okay, so what you're saying is that still, it first of all is gonna, in your perspective, make the job faster, more efficient, which if I think in a proper way, that may create more content, which might be because of the cheaper, because it's going to be able to create it cheaper, right, and more efficient. So it's a win-win situation.
No, I mean, it's interesting because it's kind of the Netflix problem of too much content, right? I think what's going to happen is we're going to have the transition from these tentpole experience of like, oh, everyone's talking about the new Witcher TV show, right? And instead of that, there's going to be a more fragmented market segments. And I complain about that a lot in AAA, where I'm like, okay, it costs us $200 million to make a video game, right? That means that I have to appeal to as many people as possible at once, and also their dog probably, just to make the money back. And what that implies is that I can only tell a limited amount of stories. You know, video games at that AAA budget have basically, when we compare them to movies, we've only figured out how to economically, efficiently produce the superhero movies of video games. You know, we can't have a drama, we can't have a comedy, we can't have just a personal human story, because at that level of fidelity is just too expensive to produce. And so what's going to happen is all of a sudden we're going to have the ability to produce all of these stories much cheaper, which means that there can be a fragmentation of the market, where instead of having one big tentpole experience for everyone that everybody likes, we're going to make smaller experience that somebody's going to fucking love. They're just going to change their whole life. And I feel like that is going to be fantastic. I would love to see more art like that. I want to see AAA quality, human, intimate experiences that connect, not with everybody, but with a small group of people, but they connect better than anything ever could.
I think that now uniqueness is most important thing in creating things, because of course you could make something good, nice, detailed, without detailed, but uniqueness is easiest marketing, because you are at the top of everything, and when we would think in thousands of generic creations, this uniqueness will be this light in the dark that, yeah, if you make something unique, you will save again.
Yeah, I would say there will be more like personal content, like more creators, like you were saying, that will be delivering like those more personalized, more private experiences for the for the audience. Like I hope that when you'll be making like one person will be making a project, it will get to like a big audience. I hope, but yeah, probably it will be going to smaller sectors, like you are saying. But eventually, yeah, I think we'll be having more entertainment that will be unique and creative, because that will be made by individuals, not by thousands of people who like have to unify it with some idea because they are working for one company and they have like some kind of they have to meet some needs, right? And if you are when you are individual and you have those kind of powerful tools to make it by your own, like to make your like show, animation or game by one person, I feel lots of creatives will jump into it. I feel it will really evolve pretty quick. And also will define which kind of artists are kind of catching and wanted to do it, and like some probably will be standing like against. But I feel it is pure beautiful art actually when we can do it this like from our soul and just like. And yeah, I feel when it can be really beautiful when we are doing when the art will be from the soul, not from not limited by some rules from other people that are like above you or like I feel like this will change and affect future entertainment. Totally agree.
So I have a two-part question, but I'm gonna go one by one because I don't want to confuse you too much. So first of all, as we all know, AI so far, the tools that we know at least, that's a very recreative process, right? It takes what learned and creates like a mixture of whatever we're gonna ask that tool to do. So my first question is, that sounds more like what we are doing right now, right? We very often recreate stuff. There's a very rarely gonna, as even human beings are able to create something fresh and new, if any, for like past few hundred years. So first of all, my question to you guys is like, what's the difference between why we're scared of a image being generated by the same, let's say, rules of recreation, but not by a human being versus actually being able to do it by a human being? What's the difference for you in that moral sense, let's say?
Do I
go first?
I mean, let me think of an answer first. But I think there's no difference functionally, right? Whether it's an AI or a human. I think the difference here becomes that because it's so cheap and quick to produce, we can, but also it is at a quality that is to a person that is unfamiliar with the industry, they kind of can differentiate. That changes the balance of what is valuable. I feel like it just brings us back to that conversation of like, oh, we've raised the floor for everything, and now we actually have to figure out why the hell should people care about what we do. And so I feel like if right now I can recreate someone, but because other people cannot, I can have some unique proposition for the people out there. When everybody can recreate it, I have to come up with a new unique proposition. And I feel like that's the only difference, is that is just going to affect more people in the industry because they're going to have to adjust what is their unique proposition to the rest of the humans that are going to be enjoying the fruits of our labors. So I feel like that is the only thing. So I think that the reason people are upset is because they have to adapt. Nobody likes adapting.
Oh, okay.
Like I was only wanted to say, but we'll have like a more challenge. Like there'll be like more competitive in this area. So like basically we'll be trying to find a new quality. And honestly, like like if we will ask ourselves like the question where we are going with it, I feel we will try to find some kind of like a new quality, and there will be like a race kind of to. I think it's happened right now even, to use those tools and to basically not waste them to make another Harry Potter in something, but to try to find some kind of new quality with those imaginary tools. Come on, they are like changing everything. And right now, I feel we are not yet ready to say how it will be look like or how it's supposed to work. But definitely, like many artists are like in the process of searching how to find this new quality with the new tool.
And I think that if AI achieve a same level as we, human artists, so we would be screwed up, but probably it won't become fast. I mean, there is a lot of development to make it to achieve our level. So we should treat AI as a tool, not as other human being, and same as photography and paintings. Yeah, photography is capturing, for example, some nature, like painters did, and yeah, paintings still exist. So yeah, paintings is just way of expression, but artist is a hand which make it as same as photographer using. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, AI is a tool which we humans use.
So what I also took away from this is that thanks to that we're going to be able to, because we don't have to focus that much on the recreation process, we can focus much more on creative process. So where's the line? Because we know it's really hard to figure something out, which is true. It's probably gonna make people either rethink the industry or just actually be thinking about what we can do more. But still, so if we are using AI just to create this recreation part of it, so where we should find for those new creative ideas?
I think the interesting part here for me is I feel like we're not exercising that muscle enough. When you're like, hey, like, why aren't we, where are we going to learn? We're not learning now. We're busy, it's not lazy. It's that, it's just like looking in the crowd, right? I imagine everyone, 10 years ago watching Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, The Matrix, whatever it was. And you're like, oh, I want to do that. You played a video, it's like, I want to do that. And then fast forward 10 years and you're sitting there like doing UVs for the second week in a row. And I feel like that's how it fucking goes. You went from this, like, I'm so inspired to tell stories and build worlds and change lives to, oh, this is a job and I have to do a lot of boring fucking things every day and not be focused on making the new Harry Potter wherever or, any one of these things. And so if we make it so you don't have to think of any of those things, then everybody will be forced to exercise these muscles. You're actually going to be forced to come up with stories and worlds and new visual ideas. Right now it's just not required. Like, it's not in the job description. So we should change it. And I'm really looking forward to that job description being changed.
Okay. So yeah, I think that we are in the moment where we specialize in many things, many skills, but some time ago, scientists or people who have knowledge they had knowledge about medicine, about astronomy, about everything. And my point is that probably we would back to diversing our skills and learning how to be an artist, how to be director, how to be scripter, and we use AI as a tool to create what we like to.
Yeah, definitely. Like, it's changing the perception, the roles, and definitely us. And that's the funny part, that in some part lots of artists were complaining and people were complaining about the AI art that that was like flawed the internet. But from the other point, I figure out that the whole world became a bit more creative. We got the tools. Okay, we are wasting it for the Harry Potter in the beginning, but from some point, like, whole world got the tools to become more creative. And we can become like directors, screenwriters. We can do it right now, actually. And I think it's like it's early happening fastly right now. You know, like it's like the ChatGPT became like some huge like in this year and last year. Like, come on, those like so super fast changes that are happening, and so we have to adapt with our understanding of this tool, what we can do it. Yeah, I totally agree that we can do more. We don't know how to do it right now because we are trying to find a way, right? But the possibilities are really, really huge. Yeah, the threats are also huge, but I would try to, like you were saying, like not treat it as a human being because it is not like competitive right now. Maybe they will make like some project that will be trying to mimic like the human being, but that's not the point. I think we are trying to make like a kind of co-pilot for all the activities, and I feel we have it, and now we have to catch up what we can do with it and how to use it, because like each day I am checking, you know, like, and there are happening like new AI tools for 3D, for voiceover. Come on, and those are amazing tools that I am like, I wanted to use them in some point for my project that I also doing like my movie project that I wanna like augment with AI, and I started to do some sections with the voice, with the arts as well. Yeah, but still, there's lots of stuff to understand, like lots of stuff to figure out with those tools and how it is changing and affecting us. And I don't know, I am kind of excited to see what other artists will come up with, because this is really inspiring. We are all seeing each other and wanted to see something really, really cool. So yeah, I think I'm excited. Honestly, I am excited.
I'm excited that you're excited. Artur, you said one thing that I think stuck to me right now, because you said like it's still AI is being creative, and we are probably far away for sentient AI. Yeah. However, we know it's possible. So think about, there's going to be a tool or entity or technology that will be actually able to create whatever that technology wants itself, and it's going to be so much better than ever best team of art directors in the world going to be able to create. How we should prepare ourselves for that scenario, if you feel like that's actually ever going to be able to exist?
Okay, so I really like word which were here a few times, adapt. And human beings have special ability to adapt in every conditions. We live in every part of Earth, in every weather and stuff like this. We are colonizing. Yeah, we are going to space, but yeah, we could adapt, and it's hard to imagine how future would look like, but I'm quite sure that we will adapt to it.
I think the interesting thing here is I would disagree that there's an objective definition of like making art better than any human, because art has sort of two angles to it. One is how you produce it and what is your intent. The other one, how is it received based on the context and the experience that the person has. And so I feel like, if anything, we're going to have two sets of AIs, one for artists to produce stuff and then one for humans to experience stuff. We're like, oh, I can take this game, I can take this movie, and then I can change it to actually better impact me. And so I feel like it doesn't become like, oh, whatever, super powerful AI that makes one thing for everybody, because nobody can agree on any fucking thing ever. And so it's going to be the opposite. It's like, I'm going to make a piece of artwork and I know that it can adapt to every person experiencing it and manipulate them in a better way that I want to. If I want to make you sad, right now I use cliches, right? Cliches are our artistic tool of like, if I'm gonna make you sad, there's a puppy in a puddle, or whatever it is. And it's meant to affect everybody, but it doesn't work for everybody. Somebody hates puppies. So for them, it's gonna be whatever, hippopotamus. I don't know, whatever makes you sad. But it's just that idea that we can build experiences with artificial intelligence that help us transcend the general cliches and customize things for us to make them meaningful and personal. And so I feel like it kind of goes beyond like what is beautiful for everybody that an art director can make, and more like what is most impactful for me. Because as an art director, right, my job is not to just say, oh, this has to be the bluest blue ever. It's like, oh, in this moment of our experience, we want you to be happy. We want you to be sad. We want you to consider this. We want you to be elated. We want you to be jealous. And then that is the input. And then the AI will just help me get you there. It will help me make you feel those things. And so in that sense, yeah, I don't feel like it's a generalized overlord. It's quite the opposite. It's like an adaptive tool for every single person, which makes it more interesting and exciting. And we're not too far away from that. Like we're doing tests at Promethean like years ago, where we can be like, oh, depending on the hardware, for example, available to us, we can regenerate the same environment at different levels of quality. So imagine you can make a game and you imbue the environment with the intention. You're saying this is what the space is, but then it can be reconfigured every time somebody runs it on new hardware and make it more detailed, more rich in content. Like, that is cool, and we're just gonna have that, but for emotional impact as well.
Like, I feel like from some point you are saying that the creation is like divided for the idea and slash concept, and then like the tools or like Warcraft, and like basically like how we are doing it, right? And I feel this whole section about the skill like will disappear. You know, like I feel it will be only about the idea, about the concept. And so at some point, I don't know. I know it will sound poetically, but the art maybe it will be more free and more like it's supposed to be. More intentional, more from individuals, less related to actual, I don't know, like crafting some skills for like decades to make it right now. Maybe there will be like some lacks of quality on the beginning, but I believe we'll try to find a way to catch up and to make all those experiences interesting. Maybe the idea of like an AI who will be helping you to see, you know, like as well, not only to like give some other people like experience, but also, you know, like that will modulate and manipulate your kind of sphere of experience. This will be also interesting. Like, yeah, I feel like it can make us as an artist more free and more beautifully real in what we actually meant to do in our life, because it's all about like expressing and showing something from your side. And sometimes the tool can be really helpful, and sometimes it can stop you. At some point, yeah, like I said, there will be probably lots of like problems with low quality art in some points, because we will be not seeing, you know, like many stuff, like many lacks in our skill set, in, I don't know, in voice, in directing or screenplay, because we started as an artist. But I believe we'll really fastly catch up with all those aspects when because like it's all to make it better, I feel, and like AI will actually help us to do it, and with our intentions, I feel probably it will go fluently. So yeah, I'm like I am excited.
I'm still excited.
You're still excited. Okay, I guess because from what I heard so far, it's everyone's super excited, and we see more positives than negatives, which hopefully is actually the case, and we don't oversee something like, you know, Terminators looking somewhere behind the corner, toasters that's going to burn us. God knows, but hopefully not that's going to happen. So because we know that you being excited and you see a lot of positive angles, and probably you can like divide the whole humanity right now into two groups that are positive and are excited, or negatives are terrified. So I think we covered the positive side. Everyone's happy and we're good, living in a good world here. However, still, if you can somehow, even like few bullet points or like some kind of like warming message, try to, you know, put like a pillow of safety net for those people that are not feeling that comfortable and they feel like Terminator 2 actually going to happen not far from now. I mean, I give you the microphone. Whoever wants to take it over.
Okay, so my tip is don't fight with AI. Try to understand it. Try to put it in your workflow. And yeah, it's adaptation to new conditions.
So I feel like there are threats as well, and like we should care about them as well. Like you should think about them. Yeah, you have to like log in yourself, I think.
Oh, no internet.
Usually it's like.
So you know AI will not work without internet. We're good, bro.
Yeah, like without the Wi-Fi, definitely. So yeah, but about the threats, and I feel like they can be threats, and like I said, you know, like I believe there are lots of like ChatGPT clones that can be used like differently. They were trained to be more aggressive, and like we don't even know actually right now what can the threats look like, but eventually I would be afraid of this bunch of people who lost the job because of the AI, and they will train some AI to basically to fight back. And I would be afraid of those guys because they can really screw our Earth, right? It's because this stuff can really evolve in some point. And if you there was an idea of AutoGP, I think GPT. They used ChatGPT to basically run complicated tasks, and they give it the task to help the humanity, and basically it found that it's supposed to destroy us, and actually start to finding what are the best weapons on the planet and stuff like this. So in some point, if you train that badly, it will do this stuff. Bad for us, actually. So it's going back to loop to the same stuff. This is the tool, and it's all about how we will be using. And I feel the same with the nukes. That could be like a power source or a bomb, right? So it can kill or basically make you warm, right? And it's the same with the AI, the same with the hammer. You can kill someone with a hammer, or you can fix your house. The same story was happening from decades, and I feel it's still all about us, not about the tool.
Oh, keeps going. Yeah. I felt like we should also give a voice to our friendly overall lord. It keeps going. I feel like I try to read some of those points, and I feel like we do talk about them very much, like optimization, helping, collaboration, ideas, creative processes, stuff like that. But it might also be trying to trick us, right? We don't know that. It might be very smart in trying to trick us. But yeah, I just feel like it's very, actually, for me, heartwarming that we are more on the positive side than negative side, and we're not afraid, or maybe cautiously looking to the future. It's like Sarah Connor said, look in the future because you never know what's going to happen, because she changed the future. I think it's I'm super actually positively surprised, because I felt like we're going to kill each other here. However, we are here together, fight the future. Yes, so I would actually also say that if there's maybe some questions to our awesome yeah, okay, there are some questions. Let's go. Unless we want to add something here, or we want to take some questions. Okay, cool. So I'm going to give you a voice to you. And of course, I can play the Pentagon.
Oh no, there's some.
Okay. There's the mic in here.
So, hello. My name is Vitaly, and I'm an artist too. And last year I make a speech about the AI, and through the last year I see how it changed, how it dramatically it gives much better result. So I have few questions, few comments, and I will write to myself. So I will ask you, I think maybe all four, and then you will comment it somehow as you wish, as will be better for you. So first of all, is Firefly for Adobe, from Adobe. You say it's kind of legal, but it's legal in the way it used the art as an image. But what about the artists who use this generated content, and especially artists who don't put more changes in the result? Because now, as we can see, there are a lot of the artists who just generate a lot of images and call them artists and create pages on ArtStation, on Instagram. And as an artist, you could see the result, the difference between these artists and professional artists and those who just generated images. But producers, the game directors, they couldn't see this difference. So it's what you will say about this. It's the first question. The second one is creating your...
Let's go one by one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it will be easier because, every act of creation we could call art stuff. I mean, so yeah, doing something, creating something using AI. Okay, maybe these people are artists in some way, but yeah, there are artists. Yeah, so it's not my point to divide people between these levels, but yeah, every act of creation is making some art. So yeah, we could call making art every.
I think it's more like our value systems as far as where we derive self-worth associated with art can be skewed, and artists are known to be a little snooty and up our own asses, and probably for a good reason. And so I think the interesting thing to me here is that at the end of the day, I feel like we can love making art, and we should love making art. We should make art. But the value to other people is only defined by how they see it. Like, we don't get to tell other people to love our art more than other people's art.
I'm not agree with you as an artist with the classical education art, because people is how they see art and how they perceive art. They should study how to perceive good art, to understand what good art is.
Well,
because what we see around often, it's not what is what we can call good art.
I really appreciate that clarification. And here's the thing. If you were to make a chair and then people sit in it and they say, this is uncomfortable, and you say, no, you just don't know how to appreciate chairs.
It's a different things, because it's a practical and biological and psychological and aesthetical.
Mm-hmm. And all of those are in everyone's mind, and there's a way to generalize.
You couldn't measure the aesthetic.
No. Here's an interesting thing. When I'm making a game, and I know that it's going to be played by 20 million people, I can't go to somebody and say, you are not receiving my art correctly. That means I suck as an art director. If I did not communicate something well enough, then I did a bad job as an artist. And so I think there's two ways to look at art. One is I'm making an art that is going to be very subjectively evaluated by people, and I'm going to have to tell them how to evaluate it. And there's a market for that. There's people doing it, but there's a big difference between that and making something that as many people on the planet can enjoy.
It's a different question. Yeah, so it's very philosophical and different question. And okay, so next question, yeah? And about crafting, what you was talking about, crafting your own mind journey that in 10 years can create work for you. You can sit freely and it can generate and make tasks for you, business tasks, yeah? So everyone wish to order the works from a cool artist, the famous artist. So for example, Jama Jurabayev will create his own mid-journey. And he could make simultaneously few hundreds requests. And everyone will receive cool works from Jama Jurabayev. But what we will receive, what we will have as a result, the other few hundred artists will lose their jobs, because everyone order to one artist, and his AI generate all this content. So it will kind of fold the market of artists. It will make the life of a lot of artists much more worse. What do you say for this?
I would say that usually if Jama Jurabayev is usually he's working with clients, and I am working with clients as well, and I have to say you cannot feed them with pure AI. So it's impossible. Usually they have pretty complicated requests, and usually what we have to deliver, it's not like another Harry Potter. It's a really complicated thing. So maybe in some point you will be able to train your own AI, but I would say it will be way better for selling your arts rather than working with clients for some other project. I would say this, I don't feel it will be another Jama Jurabayev, or because the cooperation with the clients, in my opinion, they are way more customized, and they need way more attractions. Definitely we will use some AI tools to make it faster and better, but I don't feel I feel Jama will still have to do something with his hands, you know. Even train this AI, it will take many years actually, and this is also a process of doing some kind of activities that he's supposed to get something on the end. I feel like we are really on the moment when industry will be changing, our perception of art will be changing. Especially like you are trying to talk like about like good artists, bad artists, or like how you feel some other contents. In some points, like there will have a couple of definitions of the art, and it can be how it affects you, and for you it can be art. For person who is doing the art, it can be an art by itself, because for everyone else it can be looking like a crap, and for him it will be an art. And from the definition, we have to allow that this is called art, because the art is individually like a as well, like, yeah, sometimes my English is also not working in that situation.
Now we are talking about, I wish to remind you, about very professional artists, whose art everyone claimed as a good art, and doesn't have discussion about good this is art or not.
I don't get it, once again.
Sorry. So Jama Jarabayev is a very professional artist, for example, we will take him. And in the market doesn't exist discussion, is his art good or is his art is bad? So taking his name and his skills, we don't have this discussion. What art is his art good or is his art bad? He just create cool stuff, and taking what I was beginning from this last year, we have very dramatic changes. And in 10 years, yes, we will have much more professional AI-generated images and services. And as you say, now we have to put an effort to this work as to result of what we could receive to Midjourney, to receive the final good image. It needs to put work in it. But in 10 years, you wouldn't need to add some work. You will need just to make some quick sketch.
No, there will be like still will be the challenge, you know. Like you have to perceive that as a kind of like a race, and like if you will get there, like we will be pushing the boundaries further, and like so like I don't feel like in 10 years if the AI will be so advanced that it will be able to mimic Yamayubare's style, I don't feel it will be relevant anymore at some point. I feel we will be really trying to make different usage from it than just copying or like I don't know, making your artificial version of yourself that will be like, I don't know, doing like pretty customized or like a professional kind of activities that's supposed to be like yours actually like a personal.
Okay, maybe next question.
I'm really sorry for interrupting you, but we have to prepare for next for next session. So thank you for your panel.
Thanks.